Another Model 3 update for you today. Elon Musk basically sent out a Twitter storm today of stuff relating to features and all kinds of things Model 3 related, mostly in response to other people's tweeted questions and stuff. It was basically an Ask Me Anything session this afternoon, which was really cool. So I'm going to post a summary of all the truisms, all the facts that we can glean from his Twitter storm. I'll put that on my Everything Tesla or Everything Model 3 blogspot, and I'm also going to go over it right now. So let's get into it. So here's what I'm going to be posting to my blog. Here are and each one of these is based directly on a tweet that Elon Musk put out today. So these are mostly in chronological order as opposed to topical order, so some of them will kind of be jumping back and forth in topics. But the first one is, he mentioned that air suspension will be an option. That was in response to somebody from India pointing out that the roads there are rather uneven, and will that be a consideration in the Model 3 build. So he said that the air suspension will, he basically said it adjusts. Actually, now I forget what he said. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. He said here, air suspension dynamically adjusts ride height. So I don't know how much that'll help in India, but so we can deduce from that air suspension will be an option. There have been a lot of questions about the order of the orders, and he has said that the first orders will be shipped to the U.S. on the West Coast, and he said the primary reason for that is that any initial early problems, they can have a very rapid turnaround time because the cars are just so close to the factory. So get early problems weeded out, and then start shipping in phases to other geographic regions. And somebody on this topic said that, like, okay, so is the East Coast, is like a first day East Coast order going to be after, a late West Coast order? And he said no. Basically, if you order early, even in a non-West Coast region, it's still an advantage. So they're not going to ship all West Coast orders first. It'll just be some of them, and then they'll ship a batch. Basically, it sounds like they're going to batch it. Superchargers will be in Mexico by this year. They're also going to add the supercharger status in the navigation system, so you'll be able to see if the supercharger is completely full or if there's actually somewhere for you to charge. A vegan interior, leather, well, it's not really leather, but a vegan interior fabric will be available. The target drag coefficient is 0.21. Dual motor will be available, and he said it will be less than $5,000. And this relates to a prediction that I made about having front wheel drive, which is incorrect. It will be rear wheel drive with the option of a front motor, just like the S and the X. He also said more cowbells, quote unquote, will be at the next reveal. So again, they're holding back some features, or at least telling about the features until the second reveal. So there'll be some new stuff that we'll learn about. I suspect that has a lot to do with the driving displays, and I still think autopilot will be next gen. Okay, the location intensity of Model 3 orders, in other words, places that have a lot of orders, will influence where new superchargers will be placed. East Coast orders will, quote unquote, definitely have a shot on tax incentives. This is a question because it's, Model 3, by the time Model 3 rolls out, Tesla will be nearing 200,000 vehicles, and there's a question of whether, how are the tax incentives still going to be available by the time Model 3 comes out. He has another tweet about that later on. But I did a little looking into this myself, and I was reading on the IRS's website, and actually the limit is 200,000 vehicles from a manufacturer, but international sales do not count. It is only U.S. or cars sold for use in the U.S. that count towards that 200,000. So, I mean, right now there's over 100,000 Teslas floating around somewhere, but if only 50 or 70,000 of them are in the U.S., those are the only ones that count. So I think that'll have a big effect on at least quite a few of the early Model 3s having a shot at the federal tax incentive. Okay, regarding the rear glass ceiling, so the rear crossbar support beam was moved back, and that's the reason for the trunk-like lid as opposed to the hatchback. But in response to a tweeted question, he said a bike will still fit without a problem in the back of the Model 3. Concept car steering wheel is not the real steering system. So, it makes no sense not to have the real steering system on the concept car unless you're doing something crazy with it. So again, I think that might have been an indication that next-gen autopilot is in the works for Model 3. It's obviously in the works, but okay, the real steering controls and system, he says, quote unquote, feels like a spaceship. So that sounds cool. Backseat the back seats are child seat compatible. And he says you can even put 3 car seats in the back if you buy the slim kind. Tweaks to the front design are currently underway. Edge and contour refinements are ongoing. The back seats will fold forward. And then again, referencing the lack of a dash display, he says, quote, it will make sense after the part 2 of the unveil, unquote. Again, the dash and the steering and the displays all haven't been shown yet, so hopefully that has something to do with autopilot part 2. Okay, a Model 3 order gives you priority in your geography. So even though total count is high, ordering early will make a big difference locally. That's good because I'm not on the West Coast currently. And your serial number will correspond to your order number within your regions. So that's kind of related to this statement. There's going to be an optional tow hitch, even though it's a small vehicle. So that means there definitely needs to be a battery that's larger than a base of 60 kilowatt hour, at least available as an upgrade. Production ramp should enable large numbers of non-X and S customers to receive tax credits. So Tesla owners have priority over non-Tesla owners in terms of when they receive their Model 3, and somebody said, well, that's not fair if the non-current owners don't get tax credits because of that. And Musk is saying that because of the way they're going to ramp up production, large numbers of non-Tesla current customers will be able to receive tax credits. I don't exactly know how that's going to fit, or how that's going to work. Unless they're going to be getting Model 3 out sooner than anticipated or something. I'm just not sure, but hopefully that's true. The matte black was surprisingly popular, and he says it probably makes sense to bring it to production. I agree. I think that will be one of the increases in customization. There'll be more colors and sheens available, or at least matte versus glossy. And I've got a picture right here. Let's go. Yeah. Somebody had said, please make sure these wheels are available in the production version. And he said, yes, they will be. Okay. And he also said every order will receive a gift in the mail. A gift of appreciation, plus something for those lined up on March 31st at stores. I don't know if he means just orders on the first day or like every order. I don't know. I mean, obviously the first day. And then somebody asked about it being a scale Model 3, and he said yes, basically, plus a few other things for people that lined up in stores. So he said there's something for people that ordered online too. I don't know if that's going to be a scale Model 3 or not. I hope so. That'd be awesome. And then somebody said that in Washington, residents need the price of the vehicle to be under $35,000. in order for it to qualify for a rebate. And so he asked, could you make it $1 less than $35,000? And he said, sure. So that's interesting. So that's that was an unexpected Twitter storm of new information and tidbits about the Model 3. I'm sure none of that is leak for this the part 2 reveal, which he calls super next level. So again, that sounds like autopilot version 2 to me. So this is kind of a last minute video tonight, but I really wanted to get this out there because again, this was kind of unexpected, and I will have this summary posted on what is the name of my site? I think it's everythingteslaModel3.blogspot.com. Oh, and then there's one last thing I wanted to show. Where is that? This is the last thing that I wanted to show. Elon Musk says, definitely on the cards for the future. So this guy, and I looked at his Twitter page, and there's no tweets to Elon Musk, so I don't know what he's talking about. But whatever he said, Elon Musk says that's definitely in the cards for the future. And then if you look down at the responses, they're talking about pickups. You'd sell 1 million pickups in Arizona, you've already sold one, blah, blah, blah. Random thing about the hatchback. Can't wait to add a Tesla truck. And then is it F this, or not F this, but F250 or F350 equivalent? Somebody's asking about a motorcycle. Tesla truck again. People keep asking about Tesla truck in the responses to this. So maybe he responded to something about a truck, I think. I mean, you know he's going to do a truck eventually, but anyway, so I don't know if this tweet actually refers to it, because there's no previous tweet. Normally when you click on these, if like up at the top, it shows you the tweet that it's referring to, but it's not there. So anyway, that's just a little extra tidbit. Again, I'll have my summary at everythingteslamodel3.blogspot.com, which is very difficult to say, but it's a lot easier to type. Check it out, and I hope you found this video interesting.